Hello everybody, this is Evan Rogers coming at you with an NHK Easy News article. This one is from August the 5th, which that's today's date here in Ohio. So I don't know if this came out yesterday in Japan, but you know, dates are different. This one is about nuclear bombs. アメリカの若い人の70%が核兵器は必要ではない。Okay, America no wakai hito. That's all just one noun phrase. It means American young people. Pretty simple. Wakai means young. Hito means people, person. And America. So America's modifying wakai hito. And then all that's modifying no 70%. So the 70% of young people of America. Works pretty easily there. I mean, just of. Translated backwards with the word of, you got it. That's the no particle ga. That is just like, those are the people that are saying, Kakuheiki wa hitsuyou de wa nai. Kakuheiki is nuclear bombs. You dropped the bomb on me. Wa hitsuyou de wa nai. Hitsuyou, important, necessary. De wa nai, negative for a not or no adjective / noun. So, 70% of American youth say, it's implied, say, because it's in quotation marks, we're just implying it means say, nuclear bombs ain't necessary. And that is an interesting stat because it shows that American youth are not, and they say as much in the article, they're being taught differently in the educational system, which is interesting, at the very least. All right. There is the Hiroshima bomb, blown up Hiroshima. If I'm not mistaken, the original target was, at least one of them was going to be Tokyo, but there was too much cloud cover, so they just went with Hiroshima instead. Scary stuff if they would have nuked Tokyo. Here we go. 1945年8月にアメリカが広島と長崎に原爆を落としてから75年になります。Alright, so we have 1945, the year. 8th, so that's 8th month is August. Ni particles are saying on that day. America ga. So that's the subject of the sentence, generally. Hiroshima to Nagasaki. To particle links the two nouns together. So we got Hiroshima and Nagasaki ni. That's going to be the target of the verb otoshite, which is the ta form of otosu, which is to drop. And then what did they drop? They dropped a genbaku. The O particle tells us what it is that they dropped. The ni particle is telling us where they dropped it. The to particle is linking these two cities. Ga is identifying the subject. And this ni is telling us the time. Te kara pattern. This is saying they did it and then after that. So after having dropped the bomb, 75 75年になります. It will become, it has become, or it's becoming. The becoming is unfinished is sort of what's going on. What would that be? 2070? 50 plus 70, yeah, 20. So, yeah. So notice how the 8th month of the 75th year is not quite over. So narimas is either saying it is this fact, or it's saying that it is not done. So, for example, if they would have written this in September, that probably could have been narimashita. It has become, but because it's still August. And also, this is like a fact. It's like a fact of the truth of what's going on. Narimas works. So anyway, narimas is a verb to mean to become. It is a very interesting verb. I want to make a video about it and more, but let's not talk about that right now. Narimas means to become, and ni tells us into what it becomes. If you have a noun or a na adjective, or I guess some people call some things no adjective, something like that, and you put a ni after it, that tells us into what the subject becomes. The subject becomes 75 years. It has become, it will become 75 years. And what we're talking about is since all this happens, all right? After having dropped the bomb, it is becoming 75 years is what's going on here. NHK 広島放送局放送局 this is NHK Hiroshima, so that's the Hiroshima branch of NHK. Hosokyoku is like a broadcasting tower. I actually didn't know this one because I'm just going to be honest, I don't talk about broadcasting stations that much. So I looked that one up real quick. Hosokyoku is a broadcast station. 日本とアメリカの18歳から34歳に原爆について聞きました。 All right, this is the chief subject. The wa particle is the chief subject. It implies that there might be more subjects along the way, but in this sense, there are not. Sometimes a sentence has numerous subjects in it because there are multiple clauses. This one does not have more than one subject, I do not believe. All right, so the NHK Hiroshima branch, the verb is kikimashita. They asked a question. Okay, genbaku ni tsuite, noun plus ni tsuite, about a thing. So about the genbaku. The genbaku is literally a nuclear bomb, whereas a kakuheiki is nuclear weapons, whereas the genbaku is the nuclear bombs. Okay, so they asked about nuclear bombs. The ni particle in an asking question, especially in a communication sentence where we're talking to somebody or something like that, the ni particle is telling us to whom they ask, to whom they're talking to. And they're talking to, we have a giant noun phrase here. We have Nippon to America no 18歳から14歳. And even though they're not really ending that right there, it just means people. Nippon to America, so Japan and America, is modifying with the no particle from 18-year-olds to 34-year-olds. And that sai is, even though they're not saying people anywhere in here, we're just understanding they're talking about 18-year-olds and 34-year-olds. So I hope that makes sense. Kara just means from 18 to 34. So Japanese and American, the no particle is making it like it's an adjective. Japanese and American 18 to 34-year-olds ni genbaku tsuite kikimashita. They asked about nuclear bombs. Who did it? The wa particle, the broadcasting center. That's who did it. That's who did it, man. That's who did it. All right. 3000人ぐらいが答えました. About 3K people 答えました answered the question. So grai is just like counting from 0 a length. So they're just saying about 3,000 people. I'm a little bit surprised it's not goro, but I'd be interested to have a good explanation of why it's not goro and it's gurai instead. I wonder if there's actually a good reason for that. Anyway, 3000人ぐらい, about 3,000 people, 答えました, answered. And that's the first paragraph. Pretty simple sentences. I just wanted to do this one because nuclear bombs are interesting, and I'm probably going to be getting into some political and history stuff a little bit. Just a little bit. I'll try to keep it limited. But that's the first paragraph. Hey, see you in the next video. Peace out. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you like, subscribe, and share this video to everybody you know and yell at them repeatedly until they subscribe as well. If you'd like to support me even more, head on over to patreon.com, where for just $1 a month, 3 cents a day, that's it, it's darn near free, you can help me financially keep these videos coming. And as a reward for your Patreon donations, you get access to all of the miscellaneous things that I produce to help out my own students who I teach in person, and also just things that I make for myself. And if you want a little bit more bang for your buck, head on over to Teespring, where you can get lots of fun clothing, mugs, stickers, cell phone cases, all that I've designed. More designs to come. I hope you have yourself a happy dappy day. Peace out.